All good. Hey guys, good morning.
Oh man, I yawned right as we went live. Oh man,
Is that a sign of how you're gonna be tired today?
I hope not.
It's Friday.
It is.
You have a right to be tired. I mean, it's been a busy week.
It has been.
Yeah, a very busy week. We had a bunch of stuff come in.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
our biggest receiving day we've ever had.
Biggest receiving, just all in a single day.
Yeah.
We had if you guys saw on social media, we posted about it. Yeah, we had a full truck of Bandai stuff come, and then like an hour and a half later, a full truck of Kotobukiya stuff came. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And then over the course of the week, I mean, since then we've gotten more Bandai stuff.
Yep.
And we got some more stuff in too. Anyway,
the party stuff came from China, and
some good Smile stuff.
Some
came
good
too,
Smile
right?
stuff, and some Macross kits came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a lot of fun new stuff. And
yes,
restock stuff.
Which I mean keeps us busy to a degree, but for the rest of the team in the warehouse keeps them extremely busy.
Busy.
Just picking and packing orders, getting everything trying to keep up with getting everybody's stuff sent out. Now that we got a bunch, especially the aerials was kind of the main thing too. We got a bunch of those in. What else did we get? We got a bunch of PGs.
Yeah, Ring Frame came in. There's just more PGs coming in.
Yeah,
which is nice to see them finally reproducing those, which is good.
Nice change.
Yeah. Lots of Witch of Mercury kits.
The Garibaldi, aside from the aerial, we got a bunch of the Garibaldi's in as well. The Demi Trainers.
Yeah. All the old ones. Oh, not old. They're not old, but the other three that we got more of those. So the aerial, we got more of. We got more of the Lifrith, and the
Bigger Boo.
Ooh, that was not on there.
Yeah,
I think that one was on there.
Yeah.
Lots of.
I think we got some more Delenza, right?
We did get that. Tons of Mecha Musume kits.
Yeah.
Lots of those came in. Zoid kits. Yeah. Tons of Zoid kits.
Including lots of the Gojulus.
Yes. Yes. Which.
The king of the Zoids kits.
Yeah. Which those were big. Very big boxes.
Fortunately, they're packaged in a box within a box, so we don't have to pack it into another box.
It's in its own box, which is really good. Makes packing those and shipping those way easier.
As long as that's the only thing in the order.
Yeah. But it's been a fun, busy week.
Here. So, if you guys had stuff that you were waiting on that has arrived, or you've placed an order this week, if it takes a day or two longer than normal, that's why. It's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're keeping up with it pretty well as far as
they've been getting out. Yeah, they've been getting out a lot. There's just a lot of orders.
Yeah. So that's what's been going on here. Anything else on the way that you know of?
There's another container that either just left Japan or is still getting ready in Japan.
MGX, I'm sure people want to know about that.
More of those are on there. Our Perfect Grade, Unleashed kits that we had up for pre-order, back order, all those are on there. So when those come in, all those will get filled. Usually it takes about 2 to 3 weeks now. Just kind of leave Japan, arrive in California, and then maybe depending on how fast their turnaround time's been 1 or 2 days in California, and it just comes straight to us because now these are like full container trucks. But there's a lot of high grade, master grade, 3-minute missions, 3-minute sisters, all sorts of Bandai stuff on those. Aerials.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's still people waiting. I mean, because even though that now we've gotten more, there was just a lot of people that have just been waiting to get the kit. Not only from us, but I mean just all around the world.
We did cover all of our pre-orders, and then had some in stock of the aerials. So everything that we get in now, the aerials will just be available stock, which is nice.
Nice.
But we'll be getting those every shipment. There's a lot on there with each one.
I don't know if Bandai just they weren't sure how well it was going to do, so they didn't send out so much right away at first, and just kind of been slowly sending up. I don't know. Yeah, because I've heard from people even in Japan, it's better now, but for the first couple months, it was hard for them to even get their hands on it because it would just be sold out right away.
There's more people that get it, then there's less demand as more people get them.
Yeah.
So.
But let's see. Yes. So I felt like there was something else I was going to mention about that, but for now we have our giveaway for this episode here. The Fire Shadow or Flame Shadow, I guess, depending on depending on how you translate it. Yes, everything on the box is in Chinese, so it's not like normally what I would go off of is just whatever's on the box. But so depending on how you want to translate that. But this is the standard version. As you guys know, there's 2 versions of this too. Both of which, I mean, the kit is exactly the same. What's in there, it's just that the standard version has the frame that you build yourself, and then the parts are not plated, I think, except for, like, if I remember correctly, even on, well, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Check out Zach's.
Yeah, I did a review.
He reviewed both of them, I think, on the same video. Right?
Yeah, and then compared them because all that was really different is just the finish. On the deluxe version, like, everything is plated,
right?
And then it has the metal parts in like the pre-built frame, sort of similar to like a high-res kit. But honestly, between the two, I mean, I really like them both. I think the great thing about this one, if you're planning on painting the kit or doing anything like that, then you don't have to worry about stripping off all the finish, because there's finish on everything on the deluxe version. So, and then also, like, when it comes to the inner frame, I prefer the pre-built frame's nice, kind of, but I prefer to just build it myself. It's more to build. So yeah, that's what we've got. Yeah, if you missed it, that was probably about a year ago that I did mine on that. So it's been out for a little while, but we still have some. It's a really cool kit, quite large.
It is,
and it has lots of effect parts and everything in there. So there's a bunch of stuff in the box. So we'll get to that at the end of the video later on. Let's get to some of your guys' questions. So here we got a couple right at the top of the list from friends of the channel. Geo Builds asked, what is your go-to music genre to build and paint to?
I feel like it just depends on my mood.
Yeah,
I'll generally listen. I mean, it's probably the same stuff you hear me listening to in there, which
like
is what
Minecraft background music.
Minecraft background,
or like
elevator background music,
or it's like Lord of the Rings kind of style, like background music.
Music's movie scores,
stuff like that,
like Hans Zimmer and that kind of stuff. I'll just listen to as kind of just like it's noise filler.
Yeah, just it's background music that you have on in the background. So it makes sense. For me, it really just depends as well. It can be it's kind of really a mix of anything. Like it's either some kind of like rock, like hard rock, I don't know, like post-hardcore kind of stuff, or it'd be like J-pop, anti-idol stuff. It'd be like one of the two is what I've been listening to a lot recently. Just kind of just the same group. I had to listen to like two J-pop groups on repeat. That's basically Bis and Bish. Like they're like not sister group, but kind of anyway. They're under the same label. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I know your answer to this next question. Full-heartedly know it.
Chris wants to know favorite place to eat since moving to Florida. Well,
McDonald's.
Definitely not. Definitely it is not. That's, I don't know, probably my least favorite place. So Adam's talking about, I posted about this on my just personal Facebook recently, because so in the past now over a year since we moved here, we tried McDonald's once, like early on, and it was terrible, so we didn't have it again for a long time. And then at Christmas time, I got a gift card. So we tried it again because we had to use the gift card. So we tried it again, and again, it was terrible. So no more McDonald's for me, I guess. That said, the breakfast stuff I do usually tend to like, but like it's so bad for you. But at the same time, it is probably better. I don't know, just like it's, especially for the cost. And people say it's cheap, but like it's not that much cheaper than like Burger King or something, for example, which is much better in my opinion.
You probably go to one of the mom and pop breakfast places, and it's probably the same amount. Yeah,
the thing with breakfast food is always tough for me because like I always feel like always feel like it's overpriced, no matter what. It's like you go to a place and it's like $8, $9, $10 for pancakes. Like it's just pancakes.
Eggs are going for what, $9?
Yeah, it's
carton
true.
now.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Breakfast is crazy. I mean, and I love breakfast food, so it's a shame. Like, if we'll go to a place like Cracker Barrel, for example, like, and I always look at the breakfast menu because I think I love breakfast food. But yeah, I just feel like it's overpriced. I feel like, oh, I'm going to spend that much for food. I might as well get like a dinner, not breakfast.
I love Cracker Barrel.
It is good. So that's actually, honestly, probably one of my favorite places since moving here. It's quite good, and like, but I know that can depend, like different locations. But the one in Daytona, right near here, is actually is good. Yeah, it's been pretty consistently good. Other than that, there's a good Chinese place right by us that we've been liking quite a lot lately.
Lian's?
No. It's Red Bull, I think was the name of it.
Okay, yeah.
Right by BJ's. Yeah.
When we lived in Ormond, my wife would actually make me drive from Ormond.
Jeez, all the way to there.
All the way there to get that, yeah.
Far.
But now we're, in Vanille, so
even farther now, but no, it's far. But no, there's some place. It's been a process for my wife and I to just kind of, we try places, and then if we don't like it, then it's crossed off the list.
Yeah.
So it's been a kind of a process. Giuseppe's Pizza is another one we quite like. We've been there a number of times.
Yeah. We get that here.
Yep. We had it recently, so thanks, Adam, for the pizza. But yeah, so those are some of the favorite places. Obviously haven't just moved here, but what's some of your favorite places in the area?
So I like BJ's there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's not BJ's, the chain store, the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the jambalaya there.
Yeah.
There was a Thai place I liked that was here, but they just closed, and I'm gonna find a different Thai place.
Oh, the one in Port Orange too. That
one's not bad. Yeah, that was pretty good
and quite affordable too. It's not so expensive. Yeah.
So that one's not bad. I don't know.
Here in Daytona, down on not Beach Street, but on the other side of the bridge, there's one like right when you cross on International, right when you get across the bridge, and then like immediately turn. I think it's on like
Pho place?
Peninsula. Yeah,
definitely so.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Have you been Jimmy Hula's?
Yes,
like
we went there. It was pretty good. Yeah.
The taco, like a surf and turf taco place here. I'm
sure that'd be a fun atmosphere, like for like going with your friends.
Yeah,
and like we had like a work party there. Or
right. Yeah. I'm trying to think of places. I mean, Chili's is always good. So there is in Vanille. There is a steak, I want to say steak restaurant. I don't remember the name of it. And it's in a trailer park.
Vanilla Steaks.
No. It's in a trailer park. It's like Charlie's something or something like that. But it's literally the owners of the trailer park have this restaurant, and it is good. Tomahawk. Charlie's Tomahawks or Tomahawk something.
Okay.
It might be just called Tomahawks in Vanille, Florida. Really freaking good.
All right.
Yeah. Waffle House is great too.
We did not. I was not impressed. Yeah.
No, Waffle House is the best.
That too. I feel like maybe if I was in college, maybe I would like it more, like to go there once in a while. It's very similar, like Steak and Shake. I feel like
Ron called it redneck hibachi, which was,
I guess so.
Very true.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It was subpar. Was my feeling after trying it. I was disappointed that I went there and I looked at the menu and there's no chicken and waffles. I'm like, how is it going to be called Waffle House and there's no chicken and waffles on the menu? So that's what I wanted to have. And when we got there, I was just immediately disappointed by that fact. And then the food was like, fine. It's like Denny's.
You're the best restaurant I've ever been to.
Yes.
You do?
No. But go on. I want to move on to another question, but go ahead.
The Canadian Steakhouse at Epcot.
Okay. So that's where Matt's going.
Yeah, he already went there. That's he's our IT accounting guy.
He's on vacation at the moment.
Yeah, he already went there, and he says the best food he's ever had.
So that's why the website's not running properly, guys.
It's all crashed. Yeah.
But all right. So anyway, sorry for that
You get me
very
talking
long
about food.
answer. Yeah.
You get me talking about food, I just don't stop.
I think we're gonna be pretty hungry, I guess, after this.
Yeah.
Another different Chris, said, do you recommend individual cans of spray paint or a full airbrush setup for a beginner painter? Yeah.
Full airbrush.
Yeah, I've talked about this many times. I would say, yeah, sure, try spray cans for your first 1 or 2 builds, just to kind of get a sense of like painting. But don't stick with it for too long. It may seem cheaper at first because you're like, oh, I could spend $15-$20 on a few cans of paint versus $200 on an airbrush setup. But in the long run, it's so much cheaper to have an airbrush setup. Spray can paint is, if you plan on doing it for a long time, that's going to add up quite a bit, and not as nice results. So airbrush in the long run cheaper, and you get better results. So I would say, move on to an airbrush as soon as possible, as soon as you feel comfortable with, obviously. But it's not that hard. It just sounds complicated. I feel like a lot of people are nervous to try it because it sounds complicated about the thinner and ratio and all this stuff, and they feel like it's expensive, but that's all kind of immediately forgotten once you actually try it. Traffic Thunder asked, when is the next contest being announced? Yes. So we didn't mention that just because it's almost done, but yes, the Apex contest is still ongoing. We only have a few days left on that, so I guess a reminder for those of you guys who are doing that.
I've seen some really cool things people have been posting, so I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I wasn't really seeing that much that people were working on, but it seems like people were just kind of working on the side, or not posting that much work in progress. But I have seen a couple of completed ones that were really cool now that people are finishing up their projects. When's the next contest being announced? February 1st, the next day. No, I would imagine probably sometime in February. Maybe towards the end of February, beginning of March. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we do a pretty good job of kind of rolling into other ones after a week or two when one ends. Just as fun. It's fun doing contests and seeing and giving stuff for people to do.
Yeah. I think we talked about this on the last episode, I believe. But yeah, like the good point is that you're not entering. You enter, attempt to win, sure, but the fun thing is that just it's something that kind of gets people together to do something together, even though we're not actually in the same physical space. But it's something that people are kind of working on together in the community. And then once the contest is done, we can see everybody's entries all together in that wrap up winner announcement video. So it's cool to participate in that. Yeah. Even if you don't feel confident that you're gonna win, still, just enter. Yeah, why not? Irish asked, hey guys, what's your favorite color inner frame? This is one we've answered a number of times.
I prefer gunmetal or like a gray.
That's what he said too. He said he always loves gunmetal, but have seen some really fun colors, which is cool when Bandai includes color polycaps. So Bandai, when it comes to high grades, it's basically kind of like grayish purple or brownish gray have been like kind of their two main colors, or just standard like straight up gray. It's always one of those three, it seems like, with those, but I guess like occasionally you'll have ones that are a little bit different. In the more recent years, I've enjoyed to try to mix it up a little bit. Usually still staying with kind of a neutral color like gray or something is always gonna look good just because it's kind of your background color. But switching up to like a tannish or brownish kind of color, or a little bit reddish or purplish or bluish, whatever kind of tint, without it being too bright. But no, I would recommend try a different color. It helps to kind of set your build apart, make it more unique, because it's something that a lot of people will just kind of go to just their standard color. It's fine, that works. If you want to make something a little bit different, mix it up, try changing the color of the inner frame. What do you think about the latest mecha models already released and announced, like Judge, Thor, Ruling, Hunt and Kill, Genesis, Legend of Star Mechas? Seems that other companies would fill the place of Bandai, at least on MG and 100 scale models.
It's good. A lot of these third-party companies are now making pretty solid kits. So anything more is better. More variety, I think, is I don't think anyone's complaining about that.
No, yeah, and I think he makes a good point that that I think that these companies are intentionally seeing where there's a gap.
Drop, yeah.
Yeah, in people, wanting to consume the larger, like 1/100 scale size model kits that have inner frame and like all this detail and stuff. They're seeing where there's an appetite for that in customers, and catering their products to that. Sure, yeah, it's good. So I don't think that they're necessarily trying to compete with Bandai. I talked about this on a live stream the other day, and I don't think Bandai sees these companies like as competition.
Right.
I think that Bandai is just too big and basically printing their own money at this point, that they don't need to worry about kind of what anybody's really doing as long as they're not infringing their IP.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that's where these companies, and it's good. I mean, good for them that the companies are seeing that opportunity, and yeah, so long as they're not infringing on IP,
right?
They're doing good. So cool. Yeah. Have you noticed the quality of, this is kind of a related question, have you noticed the quality of a third party kits is going up tremendously? They seem to be offering so much in terms of build and accessories.
Yeah, I think the more that they do, the more they learn. Because when you first make your first kit's going to be as good as your 8th or 9th kit that you produce. So the more that these companies make, the more they'll do, the better their kits will get. They'll.
And it's an expensive process. So I mean, it would make sense like for companies, especially for, like you said, their first couple of releases, they may, number one, not know kind of all the ins and outs of what they're doing, and they may not have just the funds to have like the best equipment, so they make one or two and it does all right. It helps them to get some money to get better equipment to make better stuff the next time around.
It is expensive making your own model kit, guys. I learned that when we made the Apex kit. The molds are not cheap.
All right, Adam, do you think there will be another release of the PG Mark II and GP01 and some of the older PGs? They were on reprint lists.
No, and there wasn't the last reprint list we had that was for, was it May, June, July? January, February, March, April, May, June. There were not any perfect grades on that, but I mean they were making them pretty regularly before COVID, and now that they're back producing perfect grades again, reprinting them, they'll. I don't see why they wouldn't come back. Probably, I would be surprised if we don't have all the perfect grades printed probably
by the end of the year.
Yeah, by the end of the year, or maybe early into next year, they'll all get a reprint. I would think.
Yeah, seems like it's going that way.
Yeah.
And this question here from Joey is kind of related. He said, "Do you think we will be seeing another perfect grade? If so, what do you think it would be?" So, as far as like what they might be working on it for a new perfect grade. I don't know.
I'd be surprised if we got a perfect grade announcement this year. I'm pretty sure
I doubt it.
Yeah. I just doubt that. Just going off of the latest reprint lists, and they've kind of shrunk those down so they can produce more of what's on the lists and not cut as much, I think. And those take a lot of production time. Perfect grades do. So I don't think we'll see one this year. Maybe next year or the year after. What they're working on, I don't know. I mean, you just throw a dart at a few different things. And you could hit something right. It obviously would be a main protagonist suit, I would think.
A lead Gundam. I mean, you have to know that it's going to be one that is very, very popular.
Yeah. So there are some popular antagonist suits, but those are the only antagonist suit we got is the Zaku. Yeah. So maybe they'll switch it up, but I mean, if I was a betting man, probably the next 2 years it could be an Ariel, Barbados, it could be anything like that, I would think.
I mean, whether it would be I would love for them to make another antagonist perfect grade, whether it be just like a redux in some way of the Zaku 2 as like an Unleashed or something along those lines. Would be awesome. I would love that. Or like if they made the perfect grade Shinanju, I think would be super popular. I'm sure, to go along with the PG Unicorn. I mean, so you have to look at kits. It has to be a design that already has a master grade, a perfect grade, a real grade. Like if it already exists in every other grade, then you know it's at least popular enough that it's one that has a little bit more of a chance of becoming a perfect grade.
Right.
Which there are a lot of those, but I guess like if you're considering which ones also have real grades, that definitely narrows the list quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It could be something like a Destiny Gundam. I don't know. It could be possible. Yeah. So I don't know. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, I also agree. I don't think this year I would be very surprised, but next year possibly.
I mean, the last perfect grade they made, no one can keep in stock. They unleashed. No one ever can keep those in stock. So
yeah. So they sell well.
Yeah.
Is it easy to get into garage kits? Biscuit asks.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You do need a little bit different, prepping. You definitely have to wash the kits in some sort of
before painting.
Yeah, for sure, because you gotta get rid of the mold release. I just use OxyClean. Put it in there, leave it overnight, then scrub it with a toothbrush and rinse it all off. You got to know this stuff is toxic, so you have to, when you sand, you have to have wet sandpaper. You don't want to breathe any of that stuff in. So there's other things that you got to put in place and do. But I mean, if you've already been painting kits, you have to mask a lot more.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
I mean, generally the process is the same. I mean, it's not like. It's not like you're a skateboarder and then you suddenly have to learn how to ski.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
It might be like more like skating to snowboarding, maybe.
Yeah.
It also depends on the kit that you get and how good the kit is. Because you might have bent pieces, so then you gotta learn, you put that part in boiling water and then you can mold it back till it cools down again. So and pins too, if you don't really use pins with. So it's similar, but a little bit different.
The thing is, though, about everything that you have to do differently with resin compared to plastic is all easy. You just have to know to do it. Like it's not anything that's like difficult. It's not like or like a difficult skill would be like scribing.
Yeah.
Like if you know how to do that on plastic, you know how to do that on resin.
Yep.
So like resin takes a little bit different steps sometimes along the way, but it's easy stuff. You just have to know to do it. So if you just look up videos on like how to
fix this or do that,
it's all easy enough.
Yeah.
I mean, like for painting resin, all that's involved is you just drill a hole and put a little metal rod in there. That's it.
Yep.
So it's easy enough. I think the biggest thing is probably just going to be the cost. Garage, so long as you're buying like official ones, they're going to be expensive, and even unofficial ones can be expensive depending on what you want to get. But
and a lot of them are now coming colored too, with colored resin.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah. Let's see.
We get a lot of third-party questions.
Yeah, there's a lot. I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. We already kind of talked a little bit about third-party stuff, so that's what I'm trying to look past that to some other ones here. Did you watch the Good Smile Impact 2023? No, I did not. That would be.
I did not either.
That would be what I guess their kind of rollout of stuff that's coming out this year, I guess.
I don't know if he's talking about. I mean, they have different things. I don't know. Not Impact 2023. I didn't watch. Usually, what we'll get from them is a list of pictures of everything that they're going to be making for their last announcement. I got that, but I don't really ever watch their promo videos. Probably like Bandit 2. I don't ever watch their promo videos. I just get the information.
What do you mean? Of course you do.
The videos are good, but I don't know. I'd rather just look at a picture, see what's coming out, and move on. That takes me 2 seconds versus watching an hour-long video.
And then if it's something that you're interested, because you're not going to be interested in everything. If it's something you're interested in, you can then look at more photos or whatever.
Yeah.
But let's see. Miles asks, how did USA Gundam Store idea start? You've kind of talked about before. I want to kind of adjust Miles' question a little bit here, just because you've answered many times, like how you started the store, like the actual process of that. But I guess what gave you the idea to start? Was it just like you just needed to make some money, or you
Yeah,
you had a dream? What was your vision for like the store when you started?
So I like buying Gundam kits.
Yes.
My wife didn't like me spending that much money on Gundam kits.
Your wife, you guys were married at the time, or not married yet?
We were married. I think we were married. We were sharing bank account, so I
So she knew how much you were spending.
Yeah,
on
so I'm
kits,
sure we were married. We were married. So we've been married for. Sure.
You're on the spot now.
Yeah.
She's watching.
She barely watches these.
No.
So in order to I could make, I learned that I could, basically buy them at wholesale. I could then pay cheaper price for myself and then sell them to make more money to buy stuff that I couldn't get through wholesale.
So it was partially just kind of a way for you to fund your hobby.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And now I have no time to do my hobby because
see what happens.
But yeah, that's kind of how.
Monster.
Yeah. But that's kind of how the idea came about. And you kind of go through that process. It took about a year before I figured out what we could actually get, how to get it, and where to sell it, and what to sell it for, and how much money, what our profit margin needed to be. And that's, changed, throughout, the years. You can find different suppliers depending on what you're getting.
And we talked about, we had a question kind of related to this last week, 2 weeks ago, about getting started, and the means, the kind of ease, I guess, of getting started now versus when you started is definitely different too. So it's a completely different, not completely different, but vastly different situation.
It's definitely vastly different now. Advice that I would have that worked for us back then wouldn't work now. But that's kind of how the idea started. Honestly, was just that. I was a branch manager for Wells Fargo at the time, and
did you imagine turning it into more of like either a actual brick and mortar physical store or an online store, or were you thinking at the time you're just going to do this, just sell a little bit online, and you didn't expect it to kind of grow that much?
Yeah, just do a little bit online. I think we sold on Amazon and eBay. I never thought it would do what it did.
You expected it to just kind of stay like a side thing?
Yeah, sell one or two kits a week. Make $50 to buy myself another kit, or keep one of the kits that we did buy. But then it just kind of started, slowly but surely taking off, growing every week, little by little, and then
we thought, might as well do this that I actually enjoy more so than my 9-to-5 job that I don't enjoy as much.
Yeah, it got to a point where I would get home at 6 o'clock, and then I would pack orders to 12 o'clock. And I did that for 6 months, and just, my kid, we only had Ava at the time. She wanted to spend time with me, but I couldn't really spend time because I was doing that. So there's no family time at all, because I got home and worked again all the way through the night. So figured out how much we needed to survive, and then figured out that I could just work for myself. And the minute that I did that and left Wells Fargo, it exponentially went up, because then all my time was on that. You can market more, you have more time to do other things. Sure. So, but yeah, that's kind of how the idea started. Really,
there you go. Hector asked a question that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, but what are your thoughts on metal frames as a new trend in Plumbo? So I mentioned that regarding the boy kit, the deluxe version has that, and also the high-res kits. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't mind it as long as it's not. A lot of the third-party kits are now doing that. Almost every single third-party kit either has a special one that has the inner frame already built, or that's all it comes with. I don't mind it being like how Bandai does it with the high-res kits. I don't want it in every kit, because you do take away probably a lot of the building time. If you're buying these kits to build and to enjoy that process. Also, it's harder to, if you're painting those kits, it's easier to paint them when they're not fully constructed like that. They fit a genre for people that
some people like it, and it would be a different story if they were easy to disassemble, and the pre-built ones are generally not easy to disassemble. So like you're saying, like for painting, I think the other thing is that having the metal parts in there also greatly increases the price, which for me, I just don't really care about it. It doesn't really add anything to the kit for me. If it's a kit that I want to paint, I mean, having that in there just doesn't, there's no point of it really. So it's paying more to have metal parts in there that you just don't need. So I prefer not to pay for things that I don't need, right? I think you're right. It is nice for some people, and some people like it, obviously. I hope that it doesn't become any more present than it is now.
Yeah,
but
I think it'd be harder for smaller scale kits.
I don't expect it to get any more so, but
what do you think about the metal inner frame add-ons that third-party companies can make, like the Barbados?
Those are fine. Yeah, for people that want that, sure. That set for the Barbados was particularly nice, just because the Barbados is a particular kit, the master grade, where there's a lot of frame showing. Whereas like there was another one I saw that's coming out for like the high grade, the Origin Gundam. That one seemed kind of weird to me.
High grade one?
Yeah, for a high grade Origin Gundam, they're making a metal part set for that, which I thought, okay, that's kind of weird. But for a master grade kit, especially one that has a lot of exposed frame, yeah, sure, why not? Because I think there's definitely a market for that. But as far as what comes in the box, I prefer it without. Yeah. All right. Let's see. We already answered that. Do you have any specific techniques or strategies for managing larger building painting projects? Where it's actually physically larger parts, or I guess a larger number of parts.
I mean, just have a plan for what if you're talking about strategy for like daily, like what you want to get done, I would break it up into different areas maybe. So I'll just go through my general process. I'll do like the inner frame's a certain color. So the parts that I have to paint the most color of, I'll do first. So if it's all the inner frame, I'll do that first because it's all one color. Then I'll move on to like the armor. Usually you paint your lighter colors first because it's a lot harder to put a dark or a light color on a dark color. It's a lot easier for a dark color on a light color. But usually most like your armor part, if it's a Gundam, you're going to be painting a lot of white. So I'll do that. And I'll separate those parts out by legs and then arms, chest and waist and head. But like I would probably still do it the same way as a big project. It would just be bigger parts or more parts.
More of them,
I don't think I would change my process at all.
Specific techniques. Not really. One thing that I know that some people do for like larger kits, for like perfect grades and stuff like that, is I know some people do this even for smaller kits as well. Like I know Moki does this on even like high grades, but like painting and finishing off like an entire section, like they'll do like the legs and like paint and do everything on the legs before they've even like started painting anything else on the rest of the kit. So especially on larger projects, it seems like it would make more sense to me, I guess, if you have limited space and you just don't want to make a huge mess of everything. Maybe just do like the legs, you do all your prep work, painting, decals, and so that at least those are done, and then you can set that aside and then work on the next part of the build. That's how I'm planning on going about the Mechanicore kit that I started working on kind of briefly, but just because it's so many parts and stuff. But the thing is with that is that if you run out of a particular color or something, it can be difficult because I guess,
or if you mix colors to get your own, that would be
so then you kind of, you either have if you're going to mix colors, you have to mix enough to keep some for later. So like if you're painting you know, these 3 colors and they're mixed. If you do everything to finish the legs and then later you're going to do the arms, and then you run out of color that you need to match the part of the kit that's already done. It's kind of harder. Yeah, so you have to kind of keep that in mind too. Make sure that your colors are all going to match up. Whereas if you're doing everything all at once, you know, the color is all going to be the same, right? But if you break it up into different sections, you have to keep an eye out for that.
You get a sense of accomplishment too, I guess, if you do it that way, because the legs are all done. You finish that, you kind of...
Which can be helpful for a big project, because if it's a big, long painting project, like painting a PG or something like that, where it's very drawn out, if you try to do everything all at once, you may get burnt out on it, whatever. So or it could be the other way around. You may just do it in sections, and then you've got like half the kit totally done, and you're kind of burnt out to finish the rest of it. So I don't know. Either way, it could be difficult. But
find what works for you.
Just manage your expectations. Know what you're getting yourself into. And so I think, personally, when you're going into a project like that, it can be kind of more exciting knowing ahead of time, okay, I'm going to work on this project. It's going to take a long time. I know it's going to take much longer than normal, but you know, you're going to have a really cool result in the end. So it can be kind of exciting. Do you like kits with long swords like this one?
I mean, it just depends on the sword, I guess.
Would you rather have a big sword or a big gun? Okay. I'm a big gun person, but
I feel like it just depends on the kit. You know, if the kit design, you know, is more, I guess, they take the red frame, for example. I like the red frame with a sword versus a gun. But if it's the Buster, I want a big ass gun, you know, big gun with the Buster versus. So I think for me, it just depends on the kit and what would go with the kit aesthetically.
Sometimes mixing it up could be cool, though.
Yeah, I mean, you make a gun blade and just solve all problems.
Yeah, something. I mean, I just mean like it might be kind of cool. I think, for example, like taking a Buster, for example, and customizing it to be rather than based around like the big guns that it has, but making a custom version where it's now using swords instead. I think that can be a really interesting way to customize your kits, and again, just kind of make it more unique. What was another thing that came to mind? Oh, the Astray. I actually prefer the red frame with just the rifle and sword, rather than the swords, just because I don't know, it seems just kind of goofy, like realistically, to think about it, this 18-meter mech with this samurai sword.
There was a custom that was made a long time ago, the red frame. They used it was gray, so they did the frame all gray and white, and they used armored core, like rocket launchers or grenade launchers on the back. It looked really cool. I don't know why I'm thinking of that now, but that's a long time ago. Like we're talking like 8 years ago.
I wonder if that might have been. I mean, I'm not sure. It was a master grade.
Let me see if I can find it.
Or a PG. Because I've seen that before. That's one thing that I've always wanted to do is paint an Astray with just a gray frame. Because I've seen it before and it does look really cool. But what it might have been the Astray Blue Frame D rocket sets, like the missile pods, which I know a company made those in PG. I think like the Nielsen Marks one.
We'll go to the next question.
Yeah, sure.
There it is. It's a master grade. Those are armored core parts.
Okay, yeah. If you guys can see that. There you go. Yeah. No, the Astray does look really cool with a gray frame.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something I wanted to do.
Frame, though? Of course it will. Yeah, it's a red frame.
Yeah. Jeremy asked, did you order any kits from the latest P Bandai drop?
Yep. Every P Bandai drop.
You asked me that the other day.
I asked you if you ordered
and I looked, and it looked like there was like one, as far as I could tell, maybe like 1 or 2 kits added from what had already been on there for like a week or so. But I mean, of the ones that are coming out, I know the ones that I have on order is the H1 Full Glance kit. Really looking forward to that because that's going to be really cool. I built a high grade of that years and years ago, and it was a really nice high grade. The Psycho Blade Wound Work It just has just a different V fin basically. Yeah. That's it. But that looks really cool. But there's actually the Simp parts. Is it right? Simp, or was it Stickler?
Sticklers
that made the V fin. Yeah. So I actually have the V fin already. I have the Stickler parts. Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to pick up that.
The Stickler one was a master grade, right?
They have both. They have one 44 scale version as well. Okay. Yeah. So there's that. The Rose Gundam. I'm looking forward to that. You are too, I'm sure. Yeah. In the second round.
I didn't get the second. I don't want it myself, but I got some for the store.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, the Rose Gundam, again, it's a pretty goofy one, but I'm looking for it. It looks like a nice kit, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really nice. And
it'd be cool if they keep making other ones.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Bandai, that's still.
And I really don't know why that's Bandai. It's what it is. Yeah. The Jim Spartan is the other one, too. Or the HG Jim Spartan. Yeah. That looks really cool. That one as well. That's a Simp.
That is a Simp.
There's a conversion set for the Master Grade Gym Sniper too. Yeah, to make it into the Gym Spartan stuff. All right, let's see. Oh, this one was good. I saw from Blossom. What is the best place to hunt a Grail kit in Japan?
That's you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, generally, I saw this question yesterday when he posted it, and I was thinking about it. Like, generally, it would be Akihabara, of course. Mm-hmm. As far as like any specific store, then it really kind of depends, because honestly, between like the stores so if you want to go to a store, if it's a Grail kit that deals with pre-owned products, secondhand products, and one thing to know, if you guys are unfamiliar in Japan, the secondhand products are brand new. Everything in the box is still totally brand new. It's just that it's previously been owned by someone. So it's not like you go in there and like you're buying a secondhand one and you open the box and it's already built. Yeah, no. You can buy those, but they won't be sold. They'll be like completely separate, and you'll know because they're not in a box, they're just in a bag. Some shops do sell those like kits that are already built, and generally they're in pretty bad condition. So, I mean, you might find some, if like that's what you're looking for, you might find something good, but just getting like a kit that's pre-owned but still totally brand new for a much cheaper price is the great thing about shopping in Japan. But there's a number of stores. Surugaya is probably my favorite one, but there's Surugaya. Mandarake, of course, is the big one. Everybody knows that. Ami has their store there. All these stores, I believe Surugaya might only be secondhand, but like Ami Mandarake, I believe all sell. Oh, now I'm second guessing myself. New stuff and used stuff, but now I'm thinking it is all secondhand, except for Ami. But anyway, those would be the great places to start. But what I would also recommend you guys to do, which it just depends on how much time you have there. If you're living there, sometimes you can find like really hard to find stuff, but you have to go out like to the suburbs, because in Akihabara, you have to know, like in Akihabara is where everybody's looking for Grail kits, or everybody's looking for, everything there in Akihabara. So stuff is not going to last there for very long. Whereas if you go like out in the suburbs to just like a smaller like a book off or something like that, there's also hobby offs, I believe, if they still exist, which is just a branch of like book off. But sometimes book off will have model kits in there as well. But then they have some hobby off stores as well, where it's only hobby stuff. And because it's like just out in the suburbs or in like a smaller city, people aren't going there in droves to look through these kits and dig through them. So sometimes you can find some really hard to find stuff there, because it's just not like a high traffic place compared to Akihabara. But if you're only there for, on vacation for a week or 2 weeks, then just go to Akihabara and look around some of the different stores. Jungle is another good one to mention. Yeah. There's a few around there. All right. Let's see. Mega Man or Metabots? What are your thoughts on
Mega
that?
Man.
Yeah, I'm not really into either of them all that much, really. But just based on kind of the designs and just based on what I've seen like from the Kodo kits, the Mega Man kits do look really cool, I have to say. You think so too, Mega Man? You're reading the next question?
Yeah, you highlighted it, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never watched Metabots, so I played the Mega Man games, which Rocket Man or Mega Man, right? Rocket Man is what Rockman, yeah. So, and they had that. Then they make a new Netflix like movie.
I don't know.
Was it Netflix or it might have been Hulu of Mega Man? I only remember because Ava was watching it the other day, and Nicolas Cage voiced his dad. So I thought it was funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Sorry, not that one. I wanted to read this one here from Tyler. Tyler asked, do you guys have a no grade kit that you think is worth getting? That's a tough one. You want me to weigh in my thoughts on that first?
Well, aren't the a lot of Kotobukiya the Hex Gear kits?
He means like non-grade Bandai.
Yeah. Oh,
Gundam models.
Did he say Bandai?
He didn't say that, but
so now we're assuming.
It says no grade. Generally, I think people are when they say no grade, they're talking about non-grade Bandai.
We'll go with Bandai.
Yeah. You're thinking of non-scale stuff. I guess maybe are. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I am thinking non-scale. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. No grade.
No grade.
It's like the 1/44 scale, like non-grade.
Gundam, yeah, 1/100 scale. Yeah, like
kits that are like 300, 400, 500 yen.
Yeah,
very cheap.
Seed had a lot of those, and it was actually the first one I made was a red frame, no grade. And then they had the green frame. They had literally all the frames. Colored frames is no grade. And they had other ones that were no. I think they had the Freedom, the Justice, all those as no grades.
Yeah. There's quite an extensive line of those, and I don't really see those around. I
think that was the last series that they really did that with, right? Because what was after that?
Age. They did some non-grade Age. I think it was under a different label. I think they were like advanced grade or something like that.
Okay,
it's a different.
Because Double O did Double O have no? They all had grades.
Double O also had advanced grades.
They did have,
yeah, they had a couple of those.
But I would say the Seed, like Astray ones, just because that's what I started with. I'm trying to think of other like the old ones. Or the F91. There's a lot of G Gundam no grade ones.
There are, yeah. If you're talking about like the more modern ones, which would be like from Seed onward. If he's asking if they're worth getting, in my opinion, I mean, they're super cheap. So I think that's kind of the main reason why a lot of people end up buying them, because they go online or they're at the store or whatever, and they see the box. And of course, the box always looks good. They got cool artwork on the front, and they see that it's only like $5, and they pick it up. But honestly, I just would say it's not really worth getting because, yeah, they're super cheap. But I mean, they're gonna have like 5 parts. It's all one color. So I mean, unless you're getting it with the intention to either have it as like exactly how it is, as just like a novelty thing. If you want something that's gonna look good, I mean, you're gonna have to invest a lot of time and effort into a kit like that. So I mean, like, would you rather spend a little money and a lot of effort, or spend a little more money and less effort that you have to actually put into customizing it and painting it and everything? I would rather get a nicer model kit to start off with. So in my opinion, they're not really worth it unless you have, again, goes back to managing your expectations. If you know what you're getting yourself into, and that's what works for you.
I think we already answered his question earlier.
Yeah.
That was it,
Mateus?
Mateus, we answered your question, earlier.
I don't remember what the name was.
I don't know if it was him. It was basically the same exact question, though, I feel like.
All right, do you think Bandai will ever make an HG Alpha Zero? There's already a couple of different kits of the Alpha Zero, but they're not HG.
Yeah.
I don't think that they'll make an HG of it now. You too?
Oh, maybe a while if they run out of stuff. My stomach growls.
Yeah. Taj mentioning in the chat that Taj mentioning in the chat that the first grade kits are good for picking up quick parts for kit bash. Yeah, but even for that, I think high grades are better, because like what a first grade will be like for a first grade Gundam kit, basically like an entire leg from hip to ankle will just be 2 parts sandwiched together. So say, for example, you wanted like the knee armor of an HG Gundam or the knee armor of an RX-72 Gundam, if you're buying the first grade, that knee armor is going to be connected to the whole rest of the leg and split down the middle with a seam. So again, I think you would be better off buying a kit that's a little bit nicer, has more parts, especially if you're talking about using it for kit bashing. It's just easier to work with a kit that's already broken into more parts than a first grade kit. You're just going to have to like cut everything up, and I mean, yeah, you're saving some money, but again, it's a lot more time and effort to do that. I feel like for kit bashing, just using high grade kits is probably the best way to go, just because they're already more broken up into the separate parts generally. All right. Jeff asked, have you built this kit? Which I'm assuming he's talking about this kit, which of course I have. Adam has not. I have, yeah, both versions of it. So it took quite a while because it's a big kit, a lot of parts, and yeah, I built both versions at the same time. And it took a while, but yeah, I did. And so again, that review is up over on my channel about a year or so ago. Christy asked, do you think, or do you know if there are going to be any Vegeta black hair model kits available soon? Thank you so much. I'm not sure, not that I've seen, but I also don't follow the Dragon Ball kit releases that closely, so sorry I couldn't answer that. Adam might know. He's on his way back. Is there any black-haired versions of Vegeta coming out anytime soon?
Like model kit wise?
I guess so.
I don't know. They haven't made a Dragon Ball Z kit or Dragon Ball kit in a while. They're making that Goku one actually. Never mind. They might make one. They redesigned the Goku one.
Yeah, that we just got in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe, but there's no word. Sorry guys, I had to get a phone call.
No worries. Connor asks, what's y'all's favorite transformable mecha?
Delta Plus.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I
mean, the Delta's nice, but I like the Delta Plus.
Well, the Delta Gundam didn't transform, does it? Or yes, it does. Does it? The gold one. Does the gold one transform, guys? I don't remember.
No, maybe it does. No, it does. Maybe it doesn't.
No, I can't remember if the regular Delta Gundam transforms or not, or if that was something that was added with like the Delta Plus and the Delta Kai.
Maybe it doesn't.
That Double O kit. What's it? The Double O grunt suit. I'm suddenly drawing a blank on the name. The black one. The grunt suit. That's like in the very beginning of the show.
Oh crap! I know what you're talking about. It turns like the jet, right?
Yeah, that one's also a really nice one.
Oh, it's got a weird name. It's just like Flight or something like that, but that's not it. That's
Flag.
Flag. Thank you. Yes.
Over Flag.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Aura Flag, I think, is the black one. Yeah, that one's really nice. And that's a really great, speaking of non-grade kits, this is something I wanted to mention just to briefly go back to that. The 1/100 scale non-grade kits are usually much nicer than the 1/144 scale ones.
Way better.
Yeah.
144 scale, definitely not worth it.
So this one in particular, and like all of the Gundam 00, like 1/100 scale non-grade kits are really quite nice. They're not master grades by any means, but especially for the ones that don't have master grade kits and probably would never will, like the Overflag, for example. The Tyrann is another really nice one in 100 scale. That's another really popular one that always sells out. Yeah, those are some really good ones. Other transformable mecha, the Garuda gear from Kotobukiya this past year.
That you liked a lot. Yeah,
I liked that a lot.
Was that your favorite kit, right? Or was that the top
kit?
Definitely
one of my favorite kits from last year. Yeah. I liked that one a lot. So
top Koto kit.
Highly recommend that. But I think we're sold out, and I don't know if we're getting any more of those. I wish that Kotobukiya will.
I went on and I looked, and there wasn't any. I ordered all like the stuff that they had in stock that we were out of or low of. So, and there was like 2 frame arms, a lot of hex gear that we have coming back in, but.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll do both, reprint that one, reissue that one, and then also make some more in that line. I'm sure they will, but I have not seen anything about that yet. Chris asked, any reason why USA Gundam Store uses FedEx? It seems like they're pretty slow sometimes.
Price, honestly. So we're big enough to where we can negotiate pricing, which is nice. So because we have that flat $9.99 shipping to most of the US, I think California is $10.99. our negotiated rates keep us to where that is with FedEx. UPS just didn't come in at a better rate, so I don't. And honestly, it's depending where you're at. If we ship something UPS, it would probably literally still get there at the same time FedEx gets there.
Yeah, it's not like FedEx and UPS use different trucks that go at different speeds. Whatever delivery service, that's their business, is to get customer stuff as quick as possible. So whichever service, they're gonna be the same.
The only thing that is faster is post office priority. That will get to you in 2 to 3 days. Unfortunately, it also costs
a lot more.
So you kind of get what you pay for. We did a poll like a while ago that asked about the flat rate or different rates, and the flat rate won by far. So that's why we kind of went down. We figured out what it would cost on average per package, and that's kind of where we're at. But that's why I use FedEx. They came in, but every few years we, reach out and get pricing from different places to make sure we're still, competitive. So,
Daniel asks, "What's the next Machine Krieger kit you hope to build?"
I've never built one.
So, what's one that you would like to build?
I don't.
You may not even know the name of it, which might be the problem.
I honestly.
Is there any designs?
No.
That you really like? Not that much, huh?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fair enough. It's just uncultured.
Well, I do like the. I don't know any of their names.
Yeah.
But I do like the. What was it, like the Fallout kind of armored design? I think Fallout, like the video game. But
so it's like a suit.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the suits.
Sure.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones, but the suits are always good, and kind of probably the closest thing to like a normal mecha model.
A lot of work.
I don't know. Not exactly. Yeah,
they're nice when they're done.
Yeah. It depends on the kit. Some of them are definitely more work. Like
Wave ones are probably the least amount of work that I've seen. Yeah.
Wave is typically the suits, which are smaller kits, and then like Hasegawa makes the ships.
Yeah.
Which are the ships are more difficult because they're larger, and larger really only just means that they have more difficult seams. That's the main thing that separates the ships as being more difficult. But then like some of them, like the larger ones, like the tank type ones, like the Nutcracker ones, it's just like one big shell piece. It's not a bunch of seams. But as for me, what's the next one that I hope to build? I have a couple. I don't know. I shouldn't. I have like 5 that are works in progress. Either they're like ready to paint, or they're like half built, like half finished. So I have a few that I just want to finish. But then, as far as like what the next one I would like to build, maybe the camel. That was one I was really looking forward to the release, and I haven't even started building it yet. That's been out for a little bit now, but I really like the design of the camel, so probably that one. That's the one that, for your sake, Adam, that's the one that kind of looks a bit like a AT-8, or not a AT-ST, the walker one.
Is the one that has like
2 legs and has a big ball at the front?
Does it have like the weird little head?
It
like
has
that one. The one that had, that one's nice.
That's cool. But no, this is the one that has like leaning forward. It has a big ball at the front where the pilot,
like the body's the ball and the head is like a.
It doesn't have a head. Really.
Then I'm not really talking.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, there's I think the next one coming out, I believe, is the New Spotter, which is a reissue of the New Spotter, like it's a 40th anniversary version reissue of that, which looks cool. I've never built that kit, even though I have built the variant of that. Anyway, always looking forward to anything new. They're all cool, in my opinion. It's difficult to learn how to airbrush. We kind of talked about this earlier, but I would say it's not that.
No, it's way easier than you think, honestly.
Wills asks, favorite cut of steak That's a difficult one for me because I'm not aficionado of steak.
I'm not a big red meat person.
Really,
which is surprising, but I'm not. But
you're a big fish guy.
I do like fish. I'm more chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken. So I mean, I don't really have a favorite cut. I mean, it all seems the same to me. But I'm sure now people are like, "What?"
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
if it's cooked, if you cook it right, it's you can be as tender as can be. So it doesn't really matter the cut. If you're not a good cook, I guess what a fillet would make it more tender. But then everyone has different temps that they want them at and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is probably easier for me to say one thing. I don't particularly like T-bone steak as much. It's number one, you got the bone in there, and then they usually have a more fat. It seems like to me.
So I'm not a bone person.
Yeah.
So I can't eat like
chicken wings.
Yeah, chicken wings with bones. No.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Give me the boneless.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets that will pretend like they're wings. So any cut without a bone. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And my wife knows that, so she'll
not buy bones.
And I hate.
What about ribs though? You like ribs though? You don't even like ribs? Oh, come on.
I make really good ribs on the smoker, and then I make boneless ribs on the smoker too, which are really good. But I hate any pulled meat. Pulled pork, pulled chicken. I hate pulled meat. I do like brisket, not pulled brisket, regular brisket. I do like that.
All right. Well, that's weird. I can get behind you on the no chicken wings because
pulled meat is weird.
That's it's always like I've never liked chicken wings. It seems like you get a little bit of meat and just bones, and it seems like it's just such an annoying process. And like there's there's Buffalo Wild Wings. People love wings, obsessed with wings. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
it's weird. Here in the chat, though, Exia asked, have either of you built any 5-Star Stories stuff? Have you?
No, I have not.
I only have built the Wave LED Mirage. I think it's 1/44 scale. Anyway, it's a smaller Wave kit. Objectively, probably one of the worst kits I've ever built. That's another one where you just have to glue everything. The fit is fine, so it doesn't have like fit issues, but you just have to glue everything. It doesn't really have much in the way of like articulation. Nothing really moves on it. You're basically building a little mini statue. So it's very similar to like building a first grade or like a non-grade type of kit. But I mean, it looks cool, sure. I started painting it. This was like right before I left Korea. I started painting it, and I kind of don't really like the color. So I think whenever I go back and finish that kit, I'm just going to strip it and start painting it again. Yeah. But everything's just glued in place.
Yeah, I've never. I just have never. I don't know. I'm sure. I mean, they look nice, but one hasn't been like, okay, I need to build that for me.
That said, just because of kind of everything that I've heard about these kits over the years, I do really want to build one of the Volks ones, even though the designs don't really like get me super excited. But they're unique enough that I would like to try one, and I just kind of want to challenge myself, just because I know people are always saying like how difficult the Volks kits are. I mean, if it's anything like the Wave one that I built, like I understand why, but it seems like they're difficult in the sense that you just have to glue everything, which is not difficult.
Right.
I mean, I guess it makes it more difficult when you have to paint, more masking involved, or possibly whatever. Then it just depends on how you want to go about painting it. He said the new Knight of Gold needed a ton of glue. It didn't snap up at all. Yeah, so I mean, like, if that's an issue for you, then difficult. But I don't know. I don't really see that as an issue, but it's definitely different from like building a Gundam model. Yeah, for sure. All right, except for the Shuffle Alliance MS, he's talking about G Gundam. What G Gundam MS would you like to get an HG? Zeus Gundam, anyone? He said, Omari asked. He wants an HG FC Devil Gundam to go with the RG God Gundam.
It'd be cool, because the only Devil Gundam they did was the that was the old
grade.
Yeah.
So
that would be nice to have the Devil Gundam, but I mean, there's so many. You've got, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people want the Tequila Gundam
for the meme, basically.
Oh, that would sell. Not here in the U.S. I don't know if it would sell really.
Realistically, other than that, I mean, there's a lot of goofy ones that I mean, like, they're fun to watch in the anime, but I wouldn't really want to kid. It wouldn't really be all that exciting, really, to be honest. A lot of them, the Zeus Gundam, maybe just because it's like kind of one of the more standardish kind of Gundam looking designs compared to one that's like a snake Gundam. I just wouldn't want a kid of that.
Yeah,
it's a little bit too weird. But what, like the Razor Gundam, I believe it's called, it was the one that transforms into like the big bird. It's kind of like one of the evil boss like Gundams. It's kind of like set up like a game, right, where you have like mini bosses along the way a bit. It's one of those. I think it's called the Razor Gundam, if I remember correctly. That one was really cool. I had the toy of that back in the day.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and it was really cool. So I like that one. But I'm not sure about the other ones. We got the Dark Army, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I was really surprised that we even got that kit. So, I mean, it's the main grunt of the series, but just the fact that that kit and, well, I guess that kit got a regular release, and then they did the four-legged version with the P Bandai version, right? And yet the Rose Gundam doesn't get a regular release, and that's one of like the main protagonist Gundams of the series. That's in like the entire series. Yeah, I don't know. Strange. All right, let's switch it up. Take a couple more questions here from the YouTube community tab before we wrap up here for today. So let's see. For newer builders getting into painting, any water traps or specific airbrush tools you can recommend? I mean, like, yes, have a moisture trap. I don't recommend any particular brand one or anything. Usually that would come with your compressor, probably.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it didn't. But yeah, I would have one.
Yeah.
If it didn't come with it, buy one for sure. Specific airbrush tools. A cleaning kit is always good for your airbrush.
Spray pot.
Yeah.
It's not a guy mine here. I'll show you. Just like one of these here, which you can see is super messy. Just because this acts as just a stand where you can just keep your airbrush there, so you don't have to have. Some people will have like a cleaning pot like this and a stand. That's just kind of two things doing the same thing. So it just acts as a stand, and this is where you kind of spray when you're cleaning. But a lot of the times I don't even really use it for that. I don't think I've ever opened this since something crazy nasty is gonna come out of here. But no, it's just lacquer. So, that's pretty cool though. It's got like icicles, icicles of paint dripping off there. That's pretty wild. You can see that on the inside of there. I don't think I've ever opened that, but because this bottom part's quite heavy glass, so it makes for a good stand. So I would recommend getting one of these. You can also get a dust trap, like a dust trap, moisture trap that it'll generally be like right on the compressor, but you can get one, and I have it here. It's just harder to bring on camera, but that hooks like right under the airbrush. At the end of your line, going into the airbrush, so between the hose and the airbrush, you put it like a second. So it's basically just like another additional moisture trap you can put on there. Probably not that necessary, but if you're living in a place that gets quite humid, maybe you might want to put it on there. Just in case.
I had both those on mine.
So that would be another good one, I guess. All right. As a broad generalization, what would you like to see changed or improved in third-party kits? This is kind of going back to third-party kits. I avoided the questions for a while. But what would you like to see changed or improved among them?
So a lot of them need to do a little bit better Q&A, which they're getting way better at it.
Right? You just mean QC.
Quality control, not
Q&A.
QC.
We're doing Q&A.
We are doing yes.
I mean, which they could stand to have a bit more of a public face as well too. Maybe just as a company, because generally they're just like a faceless company, but quality control. Yeah,
with the quality control, the instruction manuals need to be accurate. A lot of times you'll find out they're not. Parts will be missing. Parts won't be fully injected properly.
Fully molded, misformed or something.
Yeah, so there's still a decent amount of those problems that do happen depending on the kit. Like for example, the Judge, we had a lot of neck pieces missing. So
the original one, right?
No, the new one.
The new one too.
Yes.
Oh.
So things like that, I think they can get way better at. They're doing a better job of making the kits better. They just need a better, quality control mechanism for the layout of their just their instruction manuals, and to make sure everyone's getting all the parts. Because if parts are missing, it takes a while to get replacement parts.
Right.
It takes a while to get, and if we've sold out of them, and someone's missing it, that really sucks for that person. Because usually it's going to take a month or two for us to get the replacement part. And then,
I mean, generally we are able to get them, which is nice.
In most cases.
Yeah. But it takes a while and kind of a pain. But and then the person who has the kit, the customer, is not happy then with their kit that they can't finish for however long it takes to get that, whatever. But
so that's probably the biggest problem that we have with third-party kits. And then you also learn which third-party companies care.
Other things that I would like to see changed or improved. I mean, this is just completely subjective for me, but a lot of the designs are like too detailed. Whereas that fits for some designs, but for some, it's almost like too much for me, where they're trying to fit and it's not, I don't know, it's not like details like panel lines or like small,
like raised part,
like aesthetic details, but it's just like all these angles everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just it's like you're looking at the kit through a kaleidoscope or something.
Yeah.
That's not to my personal taste. So some people have asked me recently, like in my comments, like, how come I never review these kits anymore? And it's like, a lot of the ones that have been coming out are like in that trend, which apparently a lot of people like. Fair enough, but it's not to my taste. How about you? You like that aesthetic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends on the kit. I
Yeah.
mean, if you like detailing it, it makes it a little bit harder because there's not enough like free space for you to.
The thing is that just straight built up, straight out of the box, it looks more impressive like that. So I can understand why there's that appeal. It looks like this big, like impressive thing, sort of like a Michael Bay type of robot, right? All right, what non-Bandai snap build are you both most excited for? Mine is the Sky Defender. That beast looks amazing.
I'm pretty excited for what is it? The one that just we just talked about it.
Did we?
It just has a gray silhouette, big old guns in the back. The one that just got announced. Why can't I think of it? He's on pretty.
Sure that was with me you talked about?
Yeah, we just talked about it.
Maybe I'll remember as soon as I see it. But for me, I'm really looking forward to the Orange Cat Industries, that X-Career, like the full-size version of the X-Career, basically. I think it has a different name, but the X-Career kits that they've come out with are like 4 or 5 different variants now, but they're like kind of SD in scale, but they're making like a full-size version of that looks awesome. Really looking forward to that. I was really looking forward to the
Ruling.
Which one?
Ruling.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I have to show me a picture of it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
The proportions are a bit kind of weird. How I don't know. It's balanced, strangely, but no, the that Orange Cat Industries one, I think is the one I'm probably most looking forward to. It's blue and white. It's like a full-size version of the X-Career. Yeah. We're looking forward to that one. I was gonna say I was really looking forward to the Deerstalker. I just built and reviewed that this past week. So if you would have asked me this question a week ago, that's what I would have said. Yeah. I was really looking forward to that one as well.
The blue Good Smile. Yeah, that's one. Is that the one you just built? The blue.
It's like gray, like off-white.
Yeah.
Like a purplish, bluish color.
Yeah, that one
with that big, massive cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That one's really cool. Other than that, let's see what else.
I'm really waiting for more information on that. Horizon Zero Dawn Thunderjaw Moderoid kit.
Yeah. Right. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really third party though.
No, he didn't. He didn't say third party. He just said non-Bandai.
Oh yeah. So I'm excited about that because I do like the mech designs in that.
Yeah,
that game.
Motoroid. That's what's nice about the Motoroid line. There's kind of a lot of different various IP in there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff that's out there in the Motoroid lines. And I'm sure there's other stuff from Kotobukiya. I know that's on the way. Like everything.
Yes, Kevin. Yes, they are.
What did you say?
He said they're releasing a Thunderjaw.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I told you. I think we talked about this when this was first announced. But yeah, when I first saw it, I thought it was a Hexagear kit. Was my immediate reaction. So you may have seen it already, and you just kind of immediately thought it was a Hexagear kit or something like I did. But yeah, I think they've only just briefly showed that.
Yeah, they showed
when they mentioned nothing else yet about that.
Anime NYC.
Maybe that sounds right.
I think is where they showed it off, and it literally is just like one picture saying coming.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we've gotten so far. So.
Yep. All right, let's do our giveaway here for today. So let's see. We'll draw our platform here first. Zoom in for this here. Between the three. All right, I'll let you hold that. 3, so that's YouTube today, where we had 57 comments. Heinz 57. And 57. Wow, look at that.
What are the odds?
So we're just gonna scroll all the way down here.
Man.
In YouTube to the very bottom, and it's Bon who asked
Mega Man or Metabots.
Mega Man or Metabots. Oh, you guys can't see that because of the thing there. Sorry, can you guys can you see that? I don't know. I'll just remove that here for a second for you guys. There you go. There you can actually see it there on the screen. I guess I could maybe zoom in more.
So congratulations. Awesome. It's very cool. It was the last one.
Yeah.
Usually it's all over the place. So just send us an email to support@usagundamstore.com with you just logged into your YouTube account and then what address you want us to ship this to, and we will get this shipped out. Congratulations.
Yeah, there you go. So between now, he needs to decide what Mega Man, Metabots, or Fire Shadow. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for all your questions. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Or we may see you before that regarding the contest, because the contest, the Apex contest, will be done in a couple days. And then I think myself and the other judges are planning to maybe do a live stream kind of talking about some of the entries. So it'll be that first, or you'll see us again doing this again in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
But thank you guys all so much for that.
Yeah, thank you. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we love. So we appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support and patience too. We get everything shipped out to you guys. A lot of fun stuff coming.
Make sure you're following on TikTok.
Yes. Yeah, because every day we put up a video on TikTok we pick a random order, show it, get picked, and you get, if it's your order, just send us an email, you get a $10 gift card. So yeah, check those out. There's some cool other videos that we post on TikTok and other social media too. We will be having another build day, probably the end of February.
So we'll let you know about that. That as well, then we may we'll probably have some announcement about that before the next live episode, so we can talk about it more at that time. But yeah, just make sure you're following on all the other social media and everything as well, so you don't miss any of that good stuff. So that's it for today, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.